Alright guys, welcome back, and in this video, what are we going to do is we're going to make this program more user interactive. In other words, we're going to make it so easy for the user to input data. So scroll down a little bit and just go ahead and delete this whole thing because I mean guys, we know that the user doesn't have the time to input all that and go to a Python file and edit it. So let's just make it super easy for the user to do that. Alright, so the first thing we gotta do is right click, new Python file, and just go ahead and name it main. And create a comment that says this is the method that will allow the user to input data. Alright, simple enough. And we gotta import a bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and type in from polynomial import all, and go ahead and type in from term import all. Alright, so let's just go ahead and build the method that will allow the user to input data. So let's go ahead and type in define main, and let's go ahead and declare a bunch of variables. Go ahead and type in terms for first, terms for second, and go ahead and type in done, and set that equal to an empty list and another empty list, and go ahead and type in true. So what this line of code basically means is this: we need a place to store all the terms for the first polynomial, and we also need a place to store, did I say to store? I don't know what I said. I'm gonna replay this again and laugh at myself. We need a place to store all the terms for the second polynomial, and also we need a variable that will allow the while loop to keep going unless the user basically finished inputting data. You guys will know what this variable is going to allow us to do later on. So basically, yeah, this is what this line of code means. Alright, so now guys, we need to know the number of terms for each polynomial. In other words, how many terms are you going to input for each polynomial? This is what we're basically going to ask the user. So let's go ahead and type in number of terms f, which stands for first polynomial, and set that equal to int, and go ahead and type in input, and go ahead and type in enter number of terms for first. Let me just go ahead and copy this polynomial. Alright, and let's just go ahead and duplicate this and change the f to an s, and that will indicate that this is the second polynomial. And let's see, where is it at? And it's right here. Let's go ahead and change that to second. Alright, so now we have the number of terms for the first polynomial, and we'll also have the number of terms for the second polynomial. So let's just go ahead and allow the user to input the coefficient and the power for each term. So how in the world are we going to do that? Well, first we got to type in while done, and let's just go ahead and type in, actually, do I really want to type it? I can just copy it from here. Coefficient, comma, let's see, power, and set that equal to input, enter, coefficient here, and go ahead, put a comma there, and copy this whole thing, and paste it here. I keep copying and pasting stuff, and change that to power. Alright, so now you're basically allowing the user to basically enter the coefficient and the power. So let's just go ahead and make sure that the user doesn't trick us, because I mean, sometimes guys, you ask the user to input a number and they go ahead and input a string or a character or anything stupid like that. So let's just make sure that the user input it. I don't know, should I say input or input it with an ed? If anyone is like an English major or anything like that, or knows English grammar, please let me know in the comments. So let's just go ahead and make sure that it is the right data type. So go ahead and type in if coefficient is alpha or power is alpha, go ahead and raise an exception. So what is the name of the exception? It's going to be type error, and let's see, what do we want to type? Let's go ahead and type in I don't know what you input it. I do not understand. Alright, that should be enough. Alright, so let's tidy this up a little bit. And let's see. Alright, everything looks good so far, except the typos that I have right here. But hey, it doesn't matter. Life is good. So let's see what do we got so far. We have the number of terms for the first polynomial. We have the number of terms for the second polynomial. We're taking input from the user. So far, so good. But now, what are we going to do? Well, guys, it's very simple now. All we got to do is take all that the user have inputted and store it in the first polynomial. And once we're done with that, we're going to take all what the user have inputted again, and we're going to store it in the second polynomial. And guys, this is going to clear up in just a little bit. So let's just go ahead and create it real quick. Let me just give myself a little bit of space. So let's go ahead and type in else if number of terms does not equal 0, what are we going to do? Go ahead and type in print the first poly looks like this so far. And you guys will understand why I have put it this print statement. Because I'm basically going to update the user on how the first polynomial looks currently. And let me just type this up a little bit. And let's see, what do we want to do? And let's just go ahead and basically take whatever the user have inputted as the power and as the coefficient, and basically store it in this list right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, all you gotta do is type in terms for first dot append. Basically, this is how you add something to a list. And go ahead and type in int. And let's see. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? It's the coefficient. And also int, it's the power. And I have made a very stupid mistake that I just realized. Go ahead and put this whole thing in a term object. Alright, so this looks nice and beautiful. Alright, so what are we doing in this line of code is basically this. We're basically telling a Python, hey, go to the list where we're going to store all the terms for the first polynomial, and go ahead and pass in this term object. So what this will allow us to do is basically create an object, and we're passing in the coefficient and the power. So if you guys look at it from this side, we're basically just passing a term object to this list. It's very simple, guys. And let's just go ahead and type in show me. And this is a method that we're going to build later on, but you guys don't need to worry about it right now. But just go ahead and type it. And go ahead and type in terms for first. And also go ahead and type in number of terms minus equal 1. Alright, so let me explain to you, and let's see, what do you want from me? A little bit of space, is that what you want? Alright, good. So let me explain to you what the heck is going on right here so you guys can really understand it. So once you input the number of terms for the first polynomial, let's say the user input the number, let's say 2. So now we know that the user is going to input two terms for the first polynomial. The user is going to input the coefficient, is going to input the power. We're going to check if this is a valid data or not. And then what are we going to do? And then we're going to say, okay, if the number of data is not 0, in other words, if we still have data to input for the first polynomial, go ahead and run these lines of code right here. So the first thing we got to do is print it to the user. We're going to say, hey, this is how the first poly looks like. And then we're going to take all the data that the user have inputted and put it in a list. And then we're going to show basically the user how the first polynomial looks like so far. And then we're going to take one out of the terms. Because guys, remember, this is the number of terms. And when we take one out, because we're just basically making sure that we don't miscount anything. So anytime we add a new term, we need to take one out from this variable right here because the user inputted the number of terms. Okay, if you guys have any questions about that, you can just let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer them.